Good morning. This is the Paintgirlee channel, and I'm Lori, and this is a live stream. And hopefully, some folks are going to show up and join me this morning. But I'm going to paint on a piece of metal that I found at Goodwill. And good morning to everyone who's coming in. This is what I found at the Goodwill. And so while folks are coming in, I'm going to clean this up. The first thing I have done is just taken a baby wipe. Good morning, Angie. How are you today? Hope you're feeling better. So I'm trying to get underneath. See this? It's a sconce, I guess you would call it. I don't think it's vintage. It looks it, but I don't think it is. There's no markings on it. So I'm trying to get behind that candle cup. It's not terribly dirty. Good morning, Colleen. I know, right? You never know what you're going to find. So I thought, even if it's not vintage, it's kind of cool looking. So the first thing I'm doing is just trying to take off that dirt. I guess I could have put it in the sink, but I didn't do it. Didn't think about that. So I'm just taking a baby wipe. And really, it's not as dirty as I thought it would be. And then I'm going to take a second wipe. Good morning, Barbara. How are you? I'm going to get a second one here. And then what I'm going to do is take some alcohol and wipe down the whole surface. And that's what the experts say. And I've painted on metal before, but it's usually something, from the craft store. Oh, look, see, some more did come up. And I don't think I'm going to paint the, candle part. I'll see how it looks. This is what I'm going to put on it. This is a jar that I painted some years ago, and I like this pig. Of course, I couldn't find the my pattern that I have sketched out. So I traced on this, and then I needed to make it larger. I think this pig is too small to put on this guy. So I enlarged it a little bit, and I'm going to put the pig off to the left, and then maybe put a few additional buildings down here. We'll just see how it goes. But it's really very simple, but it's cute. So that's what my husband suggested to put on it. So I don't usually listen to him, but I'm going to listen to him today. Now, my camera, let me see. I have a ring light attached to my camera. It's like a holder. It holds your camera. And, oh, thanks, Colleen. And it has a ring light. But the ring light makes a circle. See how then I have a fluorescent light above my desk. See, and that's what this reflection is here. It's annoying. And the ring light just makes a circle. So obviously I've got something not quite right. I've got to have my husband check this. I think it's about ready to slide off my shelf. And it clips to the shelf. Anyway. Yes. Vintage metal. I don't think it's vintage. So anybody that's watching on the replay, they can just zip on by for this part. So my idea is, I should really keep that other pig up here so I can look at it. I put him on the floor. It's just freehand the other stuff, and then just trace on the pig. And we'll see how it goes. And I think I'm going to paint a background first and then put the pig on. That tends to be, because the pig's black and cream. So if I think it'll be better that way. Just get a base coat of paint on. All right, so now I'm going to get a piece of paper towel. So good morning, good morning. How is everyone? Everybody coming in? Welcome, welcome. Yesterday it was beautiful here. Today, not so bad, but it's a little chillier and the sun isn't out. After the winter, we just love to see that sun, don't we? Woo. All right, so I just sprayed alcohol on my paper towel. Then I have to decide about colors. And it's going to be a little fiddly because I have to work around this. You know? So, because that doesn't come off. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So let me get my little, see, I just don't have a whole lot of room up here because, well, I guess I could put a few, geez, here's an idea. I could put a few things away. What do you think about that? Yeah. Let's see, where can I put my shelves are, okay, he fit up there. That's great. Okay, so let me put my piggy over here. See, I did this one more like a greenish blue in the sky. Came down to just the tan and then put the green grass. I'm going to pick out some colors as well. I think I want a bluer sky. I keep thinking of that Mary Poppins song. Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. All right, how about Mary? That House of Green's a pretty nice color. And I want them more vintagey colors, you know. I don't want real bright, happy Easter colors. Not that I'm not a happy person. I just, oh, this light avocado is really a nice color. Let's go with that. We'll put that down as our base. I can always go over it if I don't like it. Now, I have a chalk pencil somewhere. I found that yesterday when I was scrubbing around. Well, I don't know. This maybe not chalk. I'm using it anyway. I think this is a China marker. Great niece's 11th birthday. She just loves the hanger I made for her. Found a plastic hanger and added gems. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, hi, Sherry. Don't you love it when the kids love something that you've done for them? That it's just like the best feeling. When I did the one journal for my granddaughter, and she just clutched it to her chest and said, oh, I love it. I'm going to keep it in my room. Right? She's not using it for clothes. She's a smart kid. How sweet. All right, I'm unsealing. Now, some people fiddle around with this plastic seal in these bottles. See, I just take an X-Acto knife, give it a little slit, and peel that baby off. And then I don't need any more medication. See how that works? All right, so I'm just going to make a line that's going to be my land, if you will. And I think I want, because I have to be able to paint the pig and avoid the candle. So I think I'm just going to make a little, boy, you don't see that very well, do you? It's going to be a lot of land, a lot of, grass, but it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. So I came on yesterday just because I was a little lonely and I wanted to get something done and wanted some people to chat with. And my one sister who likes art, she's up at her house near the Adirondacks. She doesn't have a good signal. My other sister is not into, so it's like, you're cooking but watching. Oh, what are you making? What are you making, Ange? Right, the hanger could hang on the wall. She could put ribbons or like put her little bracelets or pin her necklaces to it or any of her treasures. It's a great idea. So I had said yesterday I went to I found this at Goodwill and then I found this at Goodwill. It's just a dish, like a tray, but I'm using it as a palette. I like to have a palette. Isn't that funny? It's called Art Minds. So that's what I'm going to be putting my paint on. So I'm going to put out some green. I'm using the Deco Art Americano. We're just going to jump in and get started. Let's get painting. Do, do, do. Happy Sunday. Now, I know I'm going to need more than that. So let's get a little more. And now, finding a brush. Let me use a bigger brush to start. I even got clean water. I'm terrible with, getting clean water. That's the best when you make something for a young person and they like it. The best. Okay, so I'm just going to go in. Now, for those of you who are just coming in, welcome, welcome. And what I've done, this piece that I found at Goodwill, I don't believe it's vintage, but I have no way of knowing. And I cleaned it up with a baby wipe and then wiped it down with alcohol. It's some kind of metal. And I've just put a little line to indicate where I want, what do you call it? Like not the horizon, or, where the ground is. And I'm just taking a wide brush. I'm using acrylic paint. And I'm just going to base coat at first. There's still some candle wax I didn't get off from whoever owned this before. I don't know if I want to get up in there underneath. So I guess I should. So I'm going to put on what I'm calling a primitive pig on here. I was going to measure too, just to, because I keep forgetting I have this grid. Okay, so if I put this, where's my number 1 or my 0? Oh, that's in the center. Okay. Hold on. Let me move things around here. I'm just curious. Let's see. About 11 inches. 11 inches at the widest point. I thought it was about 12, so that's pretty good for me. I'm usually not a good judge when it comes to measurements. I'm just scooting my brush underneath that candle cup. Now I think I want something really pale blue. So it's real pale at the bottom and then gets darker as it goes to the top, if I can do it. It's easier to do that kind of thing, I think, with watercolor. And I'm just trying to make sure I get the paint on smoothly. And there's a little tiny spot in there. I want to get in there. Just so it's covered and it kind of goes with what I have going on here. Okay, so that shouldn't take too terribly long. The base, because it's all about the base. Okay, so let me look at my blues. I guess I could kind of go. More like turquoisey. Now this is a folk art and it's called patina. That's a nice blue, but it is definitely a tealish, greenish blue, which I'm okay with that. But if I do that, what do I do to make it look? I should leave it uncapped. That's too close to it. That's a Bahama blue. That's very close to the patina. Tropical. Island blue. That's too blue, not green enough blue. I guess I'm going to have to go to the, and I'm okay with that, more to the turquoise colors. This is desert turquoise. This is a beautiful color. Yeah, we're going to go that way. I just have a knack for getting paint all over me. I'm quite good at, you see. Yes, I agree, Barb. I agree. Okay, so now I've got paint crumbles. All right, I'm going to use my, oh goodness me. Do you believe that stuck to the paint? What are chances? What are chances? Okay. Good grief. Good grief. Oh my. All right, a little bit of the heat gun. Another piece. Okay, so this is my tracing. And I'm going to put him a little over to the left. And I want his feet down a little bit. I don't want him sitting right on top of the grass. Just a little bit down. Because there's trees and the houses are real small underneath of the pig. So I just want to make a marking of where about the top of him is going to be. I'm not ready to trace him on there yet. Maybe I will trace them on. I don't want to overlap too much, but yet I don't want to have to fuss around the pig's body too much either with my background. I kind of want to get my background kind of based in. So let me just go ahead. So I'm going to take some washi tape. And I'm going to sit my tracing. Now, I couldn't find my original pattern, so all I did was put my tracing paper over top of this guy and trace it. So you could do that with anything. If you have a greeting card, a picture in a magazine that you like, really anything. You can put your transparent paper, and this I think is just like wax paper, because I didn't feel like digging around for my tracing paper. Okay, I'm just a mess. I don't remember where I put anything. I'm so busy trying to get organized. I can remember where I had it in the old spot, but can't remember where the new spot is. Okay. It's terrible. And I think my mother's loopy. Okay, so now I'm going to switch and put my reading glasses down. I just want to get him one here somewhat straight. And I'm just going to tape that there to keep him in this, you know, the right spot. And then I have some of this, I think you say it's Saral, S-A-R-A-L. I think that's how it's spelled. It's just like what we would call carbon paper. It's graphite. It doesn't have any anything on there but the graphite. You know, like you don't want to use carbon paper or anything like that because that leaves a film and it's hard to cover and that kind of jazz. Now this is bigger than what I need, so I'm going to give it a little. I'm going to give it a little trim so I'm not fussing around with it. And I'm just going to scoot that under. Now hopefully, if you decide to do something like this, you're not going to have, you know, something in your way there. And I'm just going to take a dotter and then just trace my lines if I can see them. And I'm not really going to put the ear and the eye in right now because I've got to paint it black. I'm having a hard time seeing with the glare I have going on here. And I'm just going to, yep, I'm just going to sneak a peek and make sure it's, and this piece of graphite paper is really, you know, new. I haven't used it much, so I really don't have to press very hard to get my image. Just putting his little feet in and his tummy. Oop, I went crooked there. I'm going to put the sections, the color sections, and yeah, I think that's good enough. All right. So we got him in. Excellent. I don't know if you can see that very well. And they do have, you can see it a little bit, they do have like an off-white color. Yes, that is the tip of the day. Don't bother reorganizing. Okay, what did you make, Ange? What were you cooking? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use the patina, and I'm going to scoot around his little fat self a bit. I'm going to use a bigger brush at first, and then, so this is a folk art color called patina. And I'm using a like ceramic dish for a palette because I like to. No other reason. No other reason. So if you're doing something like this, you just want to use a brush you're comfortable with. So I'm going to see how this too much water in my brush. So I'm just going to get a coat on here. So for those of you that are just coming in, welcome, welcome. And this is a piece of tin metal sconce type of thing that I found at Goodwill. I don't think it's vintage. Anyway, the price didn't appear like it was vintage. It was only a couple of bucks. So I cleaned it off with a baby wipe first, and then wiped it down with alcohol to prep the surface. When I search and look how to prep a metal or paint on metal, that's what I found. Seems to me like you should do more than that, but that's what I found. Sorry, I have a hard time talking when I come around those lines. So I didn't really want to... She's cooking fried eggs, mashed potatoes. Oh my gosh. Oh, fried chicken, fried eggs. Jeez. Well, that sounds good, Ange. That's a lot, though. I mean, that's a meal. All right, I'm going to sneak in here. And I don't have to be too careful around his backside because that's going to be black. So I can kind of overlap there so I get a nice edge, and I can come back in, put my pattern back on there. I'm going to get my smaller brush back out. I love potatoes and green beans together. My mom, when we were young, used to make a dish with wax beans and potatoes, and then she'd put milk and butter in them. Oh my goodness, that was to die for. Okay, this brush is a little out of sorts. Now I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to come back in and give my green. Oh, Barb said the tip is not to reorganize, because in my case, I can remember where I had the item previously, but I can't remember the new spot. So Barb said that the tip is don't reorganize. And then you don't have to forget where you put it. All right, so now I've got his feet down here, so I want to kind of not mess around too much there. And yeah, it's going to be a little different than my original, because I have more sky in the original, but it doesn't have to be the same. So for me, with any project like this is the not so interesting part, base coating and getting all your colors down till you get to the fun stuff to, decorate. Yeah, I don't know why I can seem to remember where I had things originally. But then the new spot, like I have a bunch of patterns from, it's not really folk art painting, but decorative art painting, if you will, from what I did years ago. And once you make a tracing, put it in a file folder, because you might use even a piece of it or a portion of it, a flower, or, maybe just the snout of the pig or whatever. You can even put stuff like that on fabric. You can put it on a journal page or on a tag if you're so inclined. But if you want to use the tracing, you don't have to retrace it. So if you have a file folder, with them all in, it's great, because then part of the job is already done. The thing is, you just got to remember where you put them. She's a weird one. Mrs. Dope. Okay. I know I'm off screen a little bit there. And if you can, if you're going to do something like this and you haven't painted, or you haven't ever painted, or you haven't painted in a long time, and you can afford to get yourself a couple of brushes that don't have wild hairs, you're going to be a lot more successful. You really are. So you're not fighting the brush. Alrighty. That's not too bad, not too shabby. Okay, so I'm going to rinse out that. I'm going to put a little more of my patina out. And get a second coat on the top part of the piece here. I need to get another baby wipe out here. I don't want paint on the back of this either, so it looks nice and neat. This is going to probably go in my booth at the co-op. Okay, that's better. Give my brush a good rinse. Okay. All right, now I'm going to start at the bottom this time. Oopsie. Now, the one thing is about acrylic paint is that it's easy to paint over and, do a redo. Of course, then you're going to have thick layers of paint, but you don't have to be as nervous either. Now I've got a spot there where for whatever reason that paint, I guess it wasn't dry. Never fails. I always forget to tell my son that I'm going to be streaming. So when we were in Europe, right before we came home, we experienced some road rage. And of course, we had a rental car. And we damaged it, trying to get away from this crazy driver in France. And we had the insurance, But you know, it is scary. Well, the whole experience was scary. But it's scary thinking, you know, you have to put out the money first to have the car repaired, and then they're supposed to reimburse you. Of course, everything was in francs. And now I'm just using a light touch and trying to get out most of those strokes. So it's been a while. We got back the beginning of December. And we just got our reimbursement check, so we're very thankful for that. And I've got to redo my tracing here. Get his little hind quarters in there. Probably put a tree or something there. Now that spot there looks like, so that's what you have to be careful of if you're painting on glass or metal. When I do my light bulbs, that's why I have my husband base coat with, he sprays them first with just spray paint from Walmart. And then I leave that sit for a couple of days. It kind of cures and attaches itself to the light bulb. Now you can get it off, but you have to really work at it. And then I paint on top of it with acrylic. So this is kind of similar, but see right here, it must not have been dry. And so when I put on the second coat, it's kind of peeled up a little bit there. So I might put a house there. Shh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell. All right, let's see what he's done. Let's dry this up a bit. And I'm going to try a third coat. I don't mind so much some of the streaking, but I don't want it to be terribly streaky. Because I don't want to distract. Good morning, Peggy. Looking a while, doing her laundry. She's such a good gal. Peggy and Barb, they're always doing their laundry. They're such good wives. I'm a terrible wife. I don't do anything. Well, see, my kids and I learned a long time ago, if we don't do it the way Daddy wanted it done, Daddy would just do it over. So we stopped doing stuff, you know? And he doesn't mind. He doesn't grumble. He doesn't mind. He doesn't complain. He just does it. Now, who can argue with that, girls? I'm telling you, who can argue with that? I'm a lazy bones. Okay, did anybody see this on Facebook? I saw that Beth responded and made a comment. It was a picture that you were to look at, and it said if you saw one image, you were left-brained, and if you saw the other image, you were right-brained. Did anybody see that? And then there were some of us that saw different image than what they suggested. Yeah, Barb was down at the river beating her laundry. I wonder if I could find that again. So my question is, how do you find out if you see something other than what was on there? Oh, she looks nice. I don't know how far back. You know, I get confused too as to where I see stuff. Oh, I wonder if I go to Beth's page, if she reposted it. Hold on, let me do that. That might work. No. Oh, fudge. I have to figure out how to, you know, when I see something that I find interesting. I'm really not on Facebook that much. I don't know if this will get it. Left brain, right brain test. Let's see. No, that's not it. Oh well. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Anyway, when I first looked at it, I saw a seal. So the thing said if you saw a fish, you were right brained. If you saw a mermaid, you were left brain. Well, some of us saw a seal, SEAL, right? And then other ones said they saw a horse, but then when I looked at it again, I saw a donkey head. So what does that, what does that mean? I find that stuff all very interesting. Our son's very different thinking. From the time he was little, he would think about things differently than we did. Because he would say off the wall stuff, and then we'd say to him, "Well, why do you, and then he'd explain, and it makes sense, but it's just a different way of thinking than most of us would think. And so we had him tested for some issues he was having and stuff. I mean, he has ADHD, and so our primary doctor at the time had said, wait till he starts school, see what the teachers, says. So we got the call from the kindergarten teacher. So we went in and we met with her, and then we had him tested for a few things. And now, okay, so the kid's 5 years old. We take him to get tested, and oh, so use both sides. Oh, well, I feel better about that, Peg. So Brian goes in, 5 years old, cute little kid, right? So he's in there. It's in there for a while. The lady comes out and she says, well, it took a while, but I finally got him to cooperate. And I'm like, as a mom, you're like, oh my goodness. I said, what did he do? And she said, I asked him if he would do something for me. And he said, no, don't want to. So she said, see those toys over there in the corner of the room? She said, if you do what I ask you to do, she said, when we're done, you can play with those toys. He said, okay. I mean, she was asking him to do, not horrible things, like one thing that was interesting. She said she thought that he had just decided to be right-handed because when she handed him crayons and a pencil, he used his right hand, but he did everything else with his left hand. Like she had him take the lid off of a jar, and he used his left hand to do that. He didn't use his right hand. So all that stuff I thought was very interesting. But yeah, the little stinker at I think actually what he said was, she said, will you take the lid off of this jar? And he said, what are you going to give me if I do it? Yeah. All right, let's see. I don't really know how to use one side of my brain versus the other side. So I'm going to put his back side back into the painting. I mean, on of the on the piece. Make sure that's dry really well. Okay, let's see. Where did I put it? All right, now, of course, now I'm thinking my washi tape might pull up that paint because it's not, it's dry, but not super dry. Super dry. And so I'm going to scoot this, and this is not critical, okay? This is not Picasso stuff. This is decorative art painting, and anything goes. Now I want to put a coat of something on the light part of the pig's body because I think white, you know, or a cream color, it's going to be hard to cover. So I think I want to get a, maybe like an antique. This antique white might work. So again, I'm using, oh, got to get the other glasses down. I'm using Antique White by Americana. Never ask a child or my husband if they want something because the answer is no. So where do you go from there? Yeah. Very true. Now this is really thick old paint. Let me grab a little flat brush and I'm going to get that section just base coated in. Yeah, when our son graduated high school, it was like one of the happiest days of my life. Because school was always a struggle. I mean, nobody liked my kid. Nobody liked my kid. Not even kids at church, really. And that's hard. And he liked everybody. But he did talk a lot. He still talks a lot. But he's a good kid. We always knew where he was. He never was in trouble. But as we all know, kids can be cruel. Okay. Now that's very spotty, but I think that's going to be okay. I'm going to let that dry because, see, if I keep going over it, it's going to pull up the paint that's not dry. Now I'm going to just base coat it in my black just so it starts to look like something. And again, I'm using Americana. I mostly have Americana or the folk art paint. And then really, even if you like this pattern and you don't really, you don't have the pattern, he's really just kind of like the shape of a blimp. Now I see on his behind comes in a little, his behind comes in, I think a little, well, maybe I got it okay. More of an angle, but whoever comes into your home and might see a piece that you work on, you know, if you painted something like this, they're not going to say, oh my gosh, that doesn't look, you know, that doesn't look like the picture, because they're not going to see the picture unless you show them, right? They're going to say, oh my gosh, you painted that? That is fabulous. And it is. And you could paint something like this on a piece of muslin, you know, and then put it and make it a journal cover. How cute would that look? All right, can you see what I'm doing here? Because I got that. Oh, Barb, are you a princess? Barbara. All right, if you post it on Instagram, nobody's going to see the original, right? You know what I'm saying. What do you talk? What do you talk? I've got to get his little skinny legs. His little skinny legs. Don't forget to put your pinky down. Pinky down. Just make sure when you do, it's in a dry place, that you're not sticking your finger in wet paint. And not so much because your finger will have paint on it, but because it makes a mark on your piece. So what's everybody working on? Is anybody working on anything? My husband came in before I was getting ready for the live, and I was taping some playing cards together. That's what I did yesterday. I was, taping playing cards together to make ATC cards. What's with the playing cards? So I'm trying to explain to him. What do you mean you're sorry to be rude? You're not rude, Ange. You're not rude. Okay, now I got to get a smaller brush, maybe a little. Brenda D. Oh, you're not late, honey. Whatever works for you. Nice to see ya. Thanks for popping. Thanks for popping. Okay, I need a littler brush to do my pig legs. Now, in the back, okay. We have in our area a store called Five Below, and they have a mishmash of stuff. They've got clothing, they've got candy, they've got books, they've got sketchbooks, they've got lawn stuff, you know, all kinds of stuff. It's not a real huge store, but okay, that's his legs down there. Do I want his legs? Yeah, they're going to be black. All right. And they have art supplies. And you can get a decent set of brushes in there for $5. You know, and I'm hard on my brushes. I don't take care of them. I'm a lazy person. I think I'm partially ADD too. See, I go from thing to thing. My mind, like my son feels like his brain doesn't ever turn off and he can't stop thinking about stuff. I don't have that, but I'm always thinking back and forth, you know, what can I be doing next, or how can I do that, or I want to try this, or you know, and it kind of I'm like a ping pong ball. I'm kind of all over the place at times. See, that's like Angie was saying a couple of days ago. She was talking about cleaning, and she'd start in one room and then run the vacuum and then go here and then go do that. And see, that's me on the rare occasion that I do clean. And my husband would say, "Why don't you just stay in one room and get it finished?" And I'm like, I can't do that. My brain doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. Okay, so this is where his little ear is supposed to be, and I think I want that maybe curled down a little bit. So let's curl that down. See, now the black covers pretty well, so that doesn't look too bad. All right, now I'm going to come in with my darker blue, more of my teal color, and I'm hoping to make this look darker and then fade into the other blue. Not sure it's going to work. Oh, well, that may be a business opportunity for you, Barb, because you could have a store called It's 50 Below. Come in and see what we have for 5 below. Oh my goodness. So it doesn't warm up till like what you said, July 1st. Hey, Marty, good morning or good day. I think I dinked it there already. Oh, I didn't put the paint out. Do, 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 do. All right, so, and I don't care really too much if this is too terribly like streakish. I don't really want a harsh line. And I could have put an extender in. That might have been a good idea. But I want to kind of do if I can, sort of an ombre-ish type of sky. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it. I've never tried it before. Really. Didn't put out enough paint, so that's not good. Oh, it's having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. Temperatures rising, it isn't surprising we're having a heat wave. Sorry for the clanking of my. Now I'm going to use this big brush, put it in my water. I'm going to take some of the water off. I'm going to tip in just the corner of my brush. I'm working it through my brush. And let's see how this goes. Brush hair, brush hair. It's not working very well. Wah, get off. Need a little more paint there, I think. See, there's a little bit of texture to this piece of metal. So I'm kind of grabbing that. Hi, Elise. I've got quite a bit of water on my brush. A lot of times you don't need that much water, but it just depends. See, now I'm kind of wiping it off. That's not too bad. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is not a realistic, piece. It's primitive, y'all. Now I'm going to try to get behind his hind quarter and just I think I have it too wet to do what I want. I probably could have used a baby wipe. That would have been brill. If I used a baby wipe, that probably would have worked well. Too late now. I'll have to try to remember that for next time. And then when it dries, I think I can come in and put it a little more paint. Oh, Piggy and stuff. Okay, so that doesn't look too terribly bad. I'm going to dry that a little. This is really what takes a lot of time. Oh, it won't be bumpy there. I'm going to deepen the top part again. And I'm taking all the moisture out of my brush and just using the straight paint. Look at there. I tipped into the black. Yes, he will have a curly tail. It's like a sconce. Here, hold on a minute. I got to get this black off. This is not good. Let me just brush it in. My brush is wide. I was not paying attention and I tipped into some black. I should have put them further apart on my palette. Hold on. I don't want to have a harsh line, so I got to do this while my paint is wet here. One moment, please. I'm calling it a wall sconce because I don't know what else to call it. Let me see if I can blend this in a little better here. And I could probably come up from the bottom with that lighter blue. Yeah, it's like a round disc, and then it's got a candle holder, like a candle cup attached. I found it at Goodwill. Doesn't have any markings on it, so I don't think it's vintage. This is what it looked like when I started. All right, so I'm going to clean up a little bit on my little palette dish here, give myself some clean space. I'm going to go back to the light avocado paint. And I'm going to start popping in little little bits that look like the tree, where I want the trees. Now on this guy, see, there's a lot more space between his belly and the, I guess that's a horizon, right? And on mine here, I didn't do that. So he's not going to have anything under his belly. But I can put a tree or a building here. I'll put a building there. I think I'm going to leave that maybe till, I could probably pencil those in. But the other thing too, like especially if you're painting on something like this or glass and you want to draw something on with your pencil, you don't want your pencil to be real sharp because they could scratch the paint off. You know, so you just have to be aware of all that stuff. Like if I was doing this and not on camera, I would probably, oh, Barb, gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. I don't have my right tune today, or my voice is not that great today. You know, I would leave it sit, the base coat sit, and let them dry real well, like probably overnight. But it'll be all right. So I think I want to do some kind of a tree here, and I'm just going to pounce my paint to make the leaves and hopefully have them look, you know, sparse. So I'm going to bring in some brown and have, you know, a couple little branches up here and a branch coming up over this way. And then I might do a couple here. So the pig is over exaggerated, of course. And then I'm going to use the same technique to put some texture and some little, oh, my finger's wet, little clumps of paint. Hopefully to look like, you know, grass and stuff. You know, the stuff you have to mow. So I'm just going to use some of this antique white that I have sitting here. And I've got the avocado. I'm going to pull out my Gamma green so I can get some dark pieces. And I'm going to try a couple different brushes. Donna Dewberry uses what she calls like her scrubby brush. I have a brush called a deer foot, and when you press it, it looks like a deer foot. Grass and poop. Grass and poop. I could have put sheep. And we could. I wonder how the fan brush would look. Oh, I've got that little tiny fan brush. Where did I bought this paint brush kit Because of this little fan brush. He might be too little, but let's give it a go. Oh, he's so cute. I can't wait till you see him. Look how cute he is. He's adorbs. It's a 2/0. See what kind of mark we get from him. Gray skies are gonna clear up. Oh, that might be good. Put on a happy face. So I'm just gonna do random. And I'm going to take some of my dark camel green. Too much moisture. And I just want little puffs. And they're just going to be here, there, and everywhere. I'm trying to make sure I'm in camera, but I also want to avoid my candle cup here, which is, this is where it gets to be a little fiddly. Now I may decide I have to add more. And I might end up painting the bottom of this a green. In fact, I think that's probably a good idea. Give it just another level of, not dimension really, but you know, so it's not boring to the eye. I'm going to do it on a rough, kind of rough. And even if you're following a pattern, oops, you don't have to, yes, it's a teeny tiny fan brush. I was in Tuesday morning. There's one near my sister Nancy's house. And their art department is just getting smaller and smaller and smaller, but they had that brush kit. And like I said, I'm always very hard on my brushes. So I'm always looking for brushes. It's called Montmartre. And it's a very small little zipper case. And it had, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 brushes. I think it was like $12 or $13, something like that. And the reason I got, like I always can use these other size brushes. And I had the angle brush. And then I had that little mini fan in there. And I thought, well, by the time I would buy them separately, I might as well just spend the, the 13 and get the little set with the cool little pig. See, I'm looking at pig and I'm saying pig snort. They don't smurf. you know, I might as well just go ahead and get it. But it's adorbs, right? Look how cute. Look how stinking cute it is. I've been wanting a smaller fan brush. Okay. So then maybe, I think maybe I'll come back in here with my comb brush. And it's probably too soon to do this. Oh, I have my sides uneven. I'm not looking at it straight on. Look, I have it uneven. You can see that candle cup there kind of got in my way. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now my little comb brush, I'm just going to wet it, put it through the paint, and then take some of the paint off so I can kind of make some little groupings of, looks like little grasses. Now I know they look like clouds right now, but hopefully by the time I'm done, they won't look so cloudish. Yeah, there's all different brushes that I have really no idea what they are. And then if I'm looking around like in Michael's or wherever and I see something different, and if it's reasonable, I buy it just to try it out. I have a wisp brush, it's really cool, and then these comb brushes, and they're great for like animal fur. Oh, thanks, Elise. All right, so let me put in a couple of little stems so I can kind of have an idea where I want to place. I'm sorry. I have the song in my head too. It's Barbara's fault. We always blame Barbara. Gray skies. Is that the one you have in your head? Gray skies are gonna clear up. All right, let's get a. This is burnt umber. That looks like a pretty good color. And now for the finding of the liner brush, which is always tricky. This is not my favorite, but this I think will do. So I'm just going to thin down a little bit of this brown. Just place a couple of trees. I think I want a little building there. So let's just do a little. Oh, girls, look, see? You got to make sure you don't have too much water in your paint. I mean, you want the paint to be thinner because you want it to move out of your brush. Hey, Ree. Easy. I might do these upside down. You blame all your earworms on Barb? She can take it. When we had our international students, we had one gal from, well, the one gal was from China, and her name was Chinan. She was an absolute adorable kid. She was so funny. And I would say to her, if Brian's home, which is our son, he gets blamed for everything. But if he's not home, you're getting blamed for everything. And she's, no, don't blame me. Don't blame me. Put a beach towel and an umbrella, and he will be at the beach. He'll be at the ocean. Yeah. Okay, let's see if I can do this. I'm trying to do it so you can see me. I want these real little. And then over here, maybe a little taller. I probably shouldn't put this one in because I don't have the house in yet. And let's put something under. Now I'm going to have a house over here. Let's put one here. It's hindquarters. Let's do that. And then see, yeah, I think I need a different liner brush for my other trees. Oh my gosh, I really have that song on my head. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Barbara. So, Ree, what are you working on today, kid? All right, so I'm going to put a tree coming up from behind this house around this way. And these are sparse trees. These are not going to be... So I'm going to have a house here, and I want the tree to come up. Maybe like that. And then I can come in and redo that line. Now this tree kind of comes off to the side. And like I'm going to go like that. And I'm going to start putting on some leaves. And I'm going to use the little fan brush. And I'm just going to tap. Nothing? Nothing, honey? All right. I hope you're relaxing. Hope you're relaxing. All right. Can you see okay? I mean, those trees are really little. I always get nervous doing this. This might even be a little too wide. Now I've picked up or have a loose hair. Maybe if I start with the big tree, that's better. And let's see, let's put some over here. I'm fighting. Good, she's relaxing. That's great. And then we'll put a little bit that's sneaking in here. And then sneaking in this way. In hindsight, I think I should have used a different brush. But now I'm going to go with it because I want them all to look the same. And I can add more if I need to. And I have to highlight them, but I think I'm going to use a different brush. Okay, so I need to put in a house of some kind. I'm just going to make a square, like a rectangle-y type shape. No, she's all right, Ange. If we don't hear from you, we know you fell asleep. That's okay. Alrighty, so we're going to make this house a cream color. Can you see okay? I'm going to have that go off to the side this way. And then just fill it in. Maybe make it a little taller. So I'll let that dry a minute. Then I want to put another piece of a building coming out over here. And in the original, it's a red color. So I'm just going to go with that. Let's see what I have. It's more of a, this is called Heritage Brick. I didn't open this one yet. So let's just see. Heritage Brick, Americana. I need one of those machines. Okay, what did I do? Okay, here's my X-Acto knife. I just make a little slit in that plastic. And it comes off real easy because otherwise it makes me crazy. Makes me crazy. Now, did you just cook for you, Ange, or did you cook for the whole family? It's pretty nice. Sometimes reds are difficult because they don't cover as, as well. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing, but this one I'm going to make like a little extension. Yes, you see you have your binocs. Okay, great. What did I do here? Okay, so I'm going to make the same kind of shape with a little step down section. If I can hold this up. That's not too bad, that red. And then I had the roof coming this way, so I think I might need a little red up here. I'll just put it in. We'll see how it goes. And once I get the roof on, I might put a little additional thingamabob there. Well, thingamabob, you know how that is. Wait, Tim Holtz will come out with one of those paint shaker machines. You know what, Barb? Him and I are like best friends. So he's always saying to me, Laura, come on, don't you have any ideas? Now I'll give him that idea. How about it, huh? No autographs, please. I just want to try to get this painting done. The girls yesterday, who was talking about it? Let's see. Was it Judy? I think it might have been Judy. Some kind of a gripper mat he's got out. Of course, I looked it up. It's already sold out. You can't even sneak and get it. It's already sold out. I don't know. I'm not really, I have an idea once in a while. I'm just not an idea person. I guess maybe if I, went somewhere and sat in a room by myself, I might get an idea or two. I don't know. But like, I don't know. He amazes me. I know he has a team of people. I get that. But you know what? A lot of it's him. I just think a lot of it's him. All right, where's my roof? Let's see if I can get this roof in right. I have a hard time with angles and um, perspective and all that jazz, you know. But something like this, see, the perspective's all off because the pig's big and everything else is tiny. So, and let's see. So if I make this slant here and I come this way, and you know, I would do better if I drew it all in, but I'm not doing that today. I'm not fussing around with it. I'm not fussing. Can you see that tiny little house? Make sure I get in the right color paint. And sometimes houses are wonky. I'm going to lean this. I'm leaning. Okay, and I'm going to put a little roof on this little extension here. Okay, and then I need a roof on this guy. I should be using a square shader instead of this round. Okay, let's see. That one looks a little beat up. Do, 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 do. This one looks a little better. All right. Angie's saying that Marty missed a good time when she went to bed the other night. What, was Xena on? Man, I couldn't keep my eyes open last night. My husband's always been, ever since he was a kid, and our daughter was the same way. She still is, I'm sure. You know, they get tired, they go to bed. I like want to stay up. Xena, Jen, and Steffi. Oh, they all three were on? What, hon? Okay. But I'm still like a kid, you know, trying to stay up as late as I can stay up. Okay, Friday night. I laughed so hard at Stephanie reading chat. Okay. All right. Now, I was going to put a building or something here because that's where I have that mess. I think I'm going to go ahead and do another tin. I know, right, Morty? What is that? It's just like, I don't know. Really, Lori? I mean, and I function fine the next day. It's just, okay, Ree. I don't know. It's crazy. My husband will say, why don't you go to bed? And I'm like, I don't wanna. it's silly. And then sometimes I'll be crocheting or whatever I'm doing, and maybe I'll make this like a silo. That would be silly to have a silo out in the middle of nowhere, right? I'm going to do it. It's going to be a fat silo. And then I'll have another little section here. Let that dry a minute. So this takes time because it's all the like the little stuff you're fiddling with. But it is what it is. All right, I think I want to put some dark green, float some green here along this grass line. And then I started to say I'll be crocheting or whatever I'm doing, coloring, and then my head starts dropping. I'm like, what is wrong with you, woman? This is where having the this candle thing here is getting in my way a little, just a little. I'm gonna come under the pig's tummy tum tum. Put some color, a little bit of shading. Under the pig's feet. Let's put some under my tufts of grass. I know, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, I think this is starting to look a little better. No, Anne, she's not at the beach. He's out in the middle of a field. It does kind of look beachy though, huh? Put a little bit of something there. No, they're supposed to look like little grass heaps. I didn't put any highlights in there yet. And if that doesn't work, you got it, mud puddles. Mud puddles are plan B. All right, let me put some little windows in here. Now this is going to be fiddly because they're real tiny. And I don't have a little tiny shader. If I had a little tiny shader, it would be a lot better. A lot easier. A much cleaner look. Let's see. This is an old farmhouse. I know you want them on the beach. Put a big inner tube around them. Ah. This is a newer brush. I'm not used to how it works. Oh my gosh, sunglasses. Stop it now. My son got his first tattoo the other day. His buddy went to art school. He always drew, I guess, in high school and stuff too. And then he got injured, I guess about a year ago, hasn't been able to work. And so I think he started doing some art stuff again. So he decided he wants to do some tattoo stuff. And I would like to get one. I don't think my husband would like me to get one. That got kind of puddly. But I thought you had to be licensed or something. I mean, right now he's not charging anybody. Yeah, my son's always kind of been a chicken, been afraid to get one. Got some Star Wars thing. No, that's incorrect. Not Star Wars. Stargate. Giddy up, old piggy. Okay, second coat on the silo. Yeah, well, that's what I said. All right, we're coming back in here. Coming back in here, girls. The silo. All right, now I'm going to do a second coat on his middle. And then when I put some more of this out, and I have to, this is really old and gloppy, so I have a hard time getting it out. I don't want to bang down on my, well, maybe I'll use, I don't want you to have to hear my banging on the palette. Maybe I'll, well, that was a clever idea, Lori, if I do say so myself. I used my palette knife. How about it? Hash browns. Ooh. Alrighty, let's see. Let's give them a twirl. Gray skies are gonna clear up, put on a happy face. Doo-doo all over the place. And put on a happy face. Do-do-do. So what's today? Today's the 20th. Okay, in 6 days, our daughter will be 37. Oh, my goodness. How can that be? 37. Okay, what she got? Pig on the beach with sunglasses on. What a story. I don't know, Marty. I always think it's either the 20th or the 21st. I usually get it wrong. I would say the 21st, so today probably is. See? See? Ange knows. Ange knows. All right, let's put a little black back here where I got some blue. All right, now I need a roof on the silo. Whoop. Those strips of paint get you all the time. Yeah, first day of spring. All right, Barb says, Marty, my 11-year-old niece told me the way to remember her birthday is that it's the first. Oh. See, I always think it's the 21st. We have a place called Rita's Water Ice, and they give out free water ice the first day of spring, and the lines are tremendous. Boy, I'm really having trouble with this brush. Did you, Marty? Yeah. That's why I said I figured if I thought it was the 21st, it's I know I always get it wrong. So I always that's what I do when I'm driving. If I don't know if I should go left or right, if I feel like I should go right, I go left because I'm usually backwards. It's a great way to approach things, I know. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not really dyslexic, I don't think. Maybe a little bit with numbers, if I'm honest. Maybe a little bit with numbers. Okay, I'm going to put some windows in here. Actually, maybe I'll... What is Sherry saying? Nowers Day. Nowers Day. Yeah, but see, Barb, the thing with the GPS is I can't always get my GPS to talk to me. I don't know what it is. She's like, okay, I think she has an attitude. All right. I'm just saying. So at Hobby Lobby, all right, I went to Michael's, then I went to Goodwill, knew where they were in Pennsylvania, near where my mom lives. Then I went to a Hobby Lobby, and then I figured it was in Jersey, and then I would go home. So I get myself all twisted around. I got the GPS thing on my phone, and she's not talking to me. So there's bumper to bumper traffic. I'm trying to read where I'm going. I'm very literal. So I'm just not getting it. Okay. I missed 3 turns and it's rerouting all the time. So I pull over, I call my husband and say, can you just give me like a big landmark that the street that the highway I basically need to find, because I can't get her to talk to me. So he tells me what to do. The GPS starts talking to me and telling me, he says, okay, you're going to be okay now because she's going to direct you and tell you how to go, yada, yada. I hang up the phone with him. And do you know that machine stopped talking to me? And I had to read the stinking directions. And it's very confusing. And I don't know about Canada, but around here, the streets aren't marked. There are no names on them. And if you're not from that area, give me a break. I have issues. I didn't always have them, but I got them now. But it doesn't stop me from doing anything. I mean, the worst thing that would happen, I'd have to sleep in my car. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm going to float some additional color here. I'd really like to have an angle brush. Let's see. Does Lori have an angle brush? Does this drive you crazy? Me rinsing my brushes. The water gets dirty so fast. Well, that's true. I say directionally challenged. Years ago, and the GPSs were fairly new. We had one. Two of my friends and I were going to a ladies' retreat. We had the GPS lady pissed off. I mean, we made so many wrong turns, and she would say, she was real nice at first, recalculating. At one point, she's like, recalculating. Well, we were hysterical. We pulled over and called our husbands. We were like, she's giving us attitude. She's like pissed off because we missed so many turns. And they're like, it's a machine. What do you care? All right, I'm just gonna, you don't really need to do this, but I just like the way it looks. And we're trying to sneak under here. I forgot that Tom. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Oh my gosh. Now, some of these, like where the buildings join, or like when I go to put his ear in, you just use some paint that's a different color, and you can get detail. I know, right? Oh, a Garmin. Yeah, that was the other one. She sounded like a pirate. Arr. Oh, yeah. My sister uses something called Waze. Waves? Waze? Waze? I don't know. Anyway, whoever it is, they don't like me. I was taking my bonus son to the airport one time. He's like, Lore, why can't you get, and I'm like, she doesn't talk to me. So he fiddles around with my phone, gets her to talk to me. We get down to the airport, he leaves. We say our goodbyes, yada, yada, yada. I go to get home and she stopped talking to me. I don't touch anything. Okay? Ways. Barb, you know a lot of stuff. Yeah, well, I have fibromyalgia, and ever since I kind of had that, I can't find my way out of a paper bag. And then some people you drive with, they get frantic if you miss a turn, and I'm like, what is the big deal? You just turn around and go the other way. But they get freaked out. They do the freak out. Okay, so he's looking a little better. I have to do something with the cow flops. FMS, I think I'm just too tired to care. Oh, you have is that what FMS is? That fibromyalgia? I don't know. This is the sandcastle right here, Ange. Right there, baby. Okay, let's see if I can. Now, this is probably too much paint on my brush. Usually a silo has, lines. Just get a hint of lines. Nothing like trying to clean this up. That's very original, Ange. Thank you. Porky. Porky Pig. The first dog that we got as a family, we bought from a gal who was, I guess, moving from one apartment complex to another, and she couldn't take her dog to the new place. So we purchased the dog from her, and she had named it Quirky. We changed her name to Taffy. The kids wanted to call her Taffy, but my brother-in-law, all from that day forward, called her Porky. Oh, hypothyroidism, fibromyalgia, kind of. Oh, really, Marty? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. No wonder you was tired, honey. No wonder you was tired. All right, I need to get underneath. That's way too big. Oh, I think I'm going to have to let that angle brush go. That one's really in bad shape. Oh, here's my little one. Let's try this little guy. Yeah, right. Gosh. This guy's really having a bad hair day. Yeah, well, I agree with your husband. They make you crazy. I always say I don't like people. That's not really true, but it's basically the same thing. They make you crazy. All right, any windows in that? Surely I must have a smaller. See, you never have the right brush. I'm just saying. Okay? You just never do. Maybe if I load this square brush just halfway. Oh, that might work. Oh, there's a stroke of genius. Okay, let's put some windows in here. That's okay. Let's put a little door in here. All right, girls. Can you see? All right, so now let's do some, let's see, what brush do I want to use? Oh, it's just so hard to decide when you're picking out a brush for a different kind of technique. I don't really, maybe if I use the scrubby brush, but I don't load the whole thing, that might be an option. I'm going to use some of the people who need people. Oh my gosh. Okay. So how many years ago? It's been quite a few years ago. I was really sick. I had been throwing up for like 4 or 5 weeks. And I'm a gastric bypass patient. Unsuccessful. Okay, because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. But aside from that, okay, so I'm throwing up and I'm kind of ignoring it. I feel good, except that I'm throwing up all the time. I would eat and then vomit and whatever. Okay, so now it's getting on to be, of course, I'm not thinking it has anything to do with my surgery that I had at that time, like 5 years ago. So I call my primary, make a long story short, he recommends I see my gastro guy. The guy that does the colonoscopy thing. He looks down your throat and looks up your butt. That guy. And so I go to him. Can't find the brush I'm looking for. I think this is just going to be too much trouble. That one's so big. So big. This brush, oh, that's one of the newer ones. I'm looking for a brush that's really kind of, yeah. Oh, that's right. You were in nursing. So I go to him and he does he said, I can't see as far down as I need to see. I'm on the side of the road. He called me himself. He said, go right to the hospital. So I go home, get my husband, we go over to the hospital. We're trying to decide where to go. So I'm trying to decide, well, I don't go back to Penn where I had my surgery. Just go to a local hospital because we were thinking it was not a big deal. And so we ended up going to a hospital in Jersey, which was ultimately the wrong decision. But anyway, and I forgot why I was telling you this. They were going to do all these tests over again that I already had done. No, I had scar tissue where my what do they call it, Wyan root surgery was, and I couldn't get anything to stay down. So of course I was malnourished at that point because I've been throwing up for so long, and I'm just pouncing this brush. I'm mixing my mixing my green and my antique white. So then they wanted to put a tube down my throat. Oh boy, was that fun. So they did that. Anyway, I was in the hospital for quite some time and I was so malnourished he wouldn't do the surgery. I ended up getting back to my guy. And the guy that did my surgery, he's wonderful. Oh, I think I'll put some white down as well. Make this a little brighter. And so he got me straightened out, but it took a while because I had to be on the special stuff through intravenous to get my nourishment back up in my body in shape to be able to handle the surgery. Yeah. So of course I forget what I was telling you that. It might come to me eventually. I don't know. Okay, Barb's taking a comfort break. But I felt good in other respects because, I mean, of course, like my husband said, yeah, well, you weren't eating anything. Well, I guess that's true, but okay, I'm really kind of fuzzing up. Who did I miss? I don't know who I don't know who you're talking about. I missed something. I'm a very easygoing person. I'm one of these kind of people that, the doctor tells you to do something, you just say, okay, yes, sir, that kind of thing. I'm not as bad as my parents, but pretty close. And the first hospital that I was at, the one doctor comes in and he says, there's nothing wrong. He said, we're going to put you back on a liquid diet and we're going to see what happens. I said, oh, no, we're not. I'm going to tell you what happens because I've been living this way for 5 or 6 weeks. I'm going to throw it up. I said, I want out of here. Transfer me to Penn Medicine in Philadelphia. Little whippersnapper. Sometimes you just have to stick up for yourself. Oh, Angie, yes, I had my gallbladder out too. Oh, that's awful when they can't figure out what's going on. Yeah, apparently I was sicker than I thought I was. But I felt good, really. All right, maybe we need a little treetop here. Oh, that's too thick. Sheesh. I'll put a little tree there. Okay, now I have to do down in these grasses. Yeah, me either. That's what they kept saying. Um, you don't have any pain. I had no pain. No pain. No pain. I was afraid of the lap band, so I didn't go that route. I only have a half of a stomach. They call it a pouch. Yeah, that seems crazy, right, Ree? Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, when I only had one gallbladder attack, but they knew they knew almost immediately, what it was. Okay, does that look better? I wonder, I wish there was an artist in here who could tell me how to make these look better. Yeah, I was so afraid of that. Okay, so I think I need to do maybe another coat on some of my trees. And maybe some wispy. Oh, thanks, Ree. Oh, thank you. Let's see. You see, I mean, it's really got a big sky. Gray skies are gonna cheer up. Put on. Okay, let's do a little bit of maybe some leaves here. All over the place. And put on a happy face. Yeah, definitely needed that. I mean, I knew I was going to do that. I just hadn't gotten to it. All right, so let's see. A little bit of brown. Let me see. Where's my liner? Did I put it back? I need to get some. I have a favorite liner brush, and I wear them out. And I keep forgetting to get me a few more. This one's a little crooked, but we're going to see if we can make it work. It looks great, Lori, but to make it authentic looking, you need some poo in the field. Well, I didn't know about it, Bob. I hear you. I know what you're saying, but I just don't know if someone who might decide to purchase this would really appreciate the poo. All right, so let's give this a little more color. Too watery. I can't get the paint to flow out of the brush. Oh goodness, come on. Okay, that brush is out of here. I can't get it to flow. Oh my goodness. This guy's seen better days too. Some of these brushes are like my oh, thank you. I think I need to fix the lid to the silo a little bit. This did I say it was burnt umber? It's really thick. I need to find it's a red handle. It's a liner brush that's really nice. And I always try to put it in the same spot. But obviously I didn't do it this time. Let's try this one. All right, let's see here. I'm going to put down the my readers, so I can't really see the screen right now. So just give me a moment here. Ladies, let's see if I can get this to straighten up my silo a little bit. And I think we need a door down here, like that. And then let's get a little bit of black, maybe a little touch of this red. This is like a number 2, so it's really not. I want to put some little lines here on the house. Oh, I'm just going to put a little thing on the top of this house. You know, you get to a point too where you could really fuss a little too much with it. Okay, so now I need to do some little shading on the piglet, the little piglet here. But I think he needs another coat on his body. Give him a nice slick black coat. And I've got to give him a tail. So let's just darken him up a little bit. And then I think we're going to be pretty much done. And then we'll spray this with a sealer, an acrylic paint sealer. Hubby's my wingman. He'll do it. Okay, who are we saying is fantastic? I missed it. I can go back and look. Some people say fantastic. Oh, that's just fantastic. I say fantastic, like a big old fanny. See, why do I say that? That's inappropriate. I shouldn't say that. Oh, girls. Struggle. Struggle, struggle, struggle. Okay. Helen Wyatt from Georgia. Thanks, Ree. Okay. All right, this little guy has another ear, of course, here, and his nose. And I'm just going to make his nose, I think, not really pink. I'm going to take a little bit of my antique white and a little bit of the red I was using. See if I can make maybe a little white. Make a little pig nose.
I need a little pig nose.
It's okay, Lori. I think they were talking about me. I'm sure they were. I'm sure they were. Okay, let's see. Now here's where the rubber hits the road. Oh, maybe if I do it this way, it'll be easier. Because see, I've got this here. And I just want to come in here and do a little light pink. make a snout. Did I tell you about the pig puppet I found I saw in Europe in a French Christmas market? And with a conversion rate, it would have cost me $110. A folk mania puppet. Hey, Carol. Oh, thank you. He was beautiful. He was very soft, and I just couldn't bring myself to spend that money for a 3-year-old grandson, who I'm not even sure really liked puppets at that point, but he was beautiful. So we get back in the car. We're going back to our place. And my son kept saying to me, "You're still thinking about the pig, right? You're still thinking." I'm like, yes. So anyway, don't I find one online? Okay, thanks, Colleen. And with shipping, I got the same pig for like $12. Okay. So I gave it to my grandson and then I got my granddaughter a lop-eared rabbit, same company. The puppets are beautiful. They're just beautiful puppets. And the pig, when you hit its hind quarter, it grunts. It's really, really cool. Of course, my grandson, being 3, thinks it was tootin'. Oh my gosh. And then we're trying to tell him, no, he's hungry. Doesn't sound like that to me. My gosh. Kids. Okay, so I have to put a little eye in. Now, the eye I have in my sample, it's like a full-blown eye. I don't know that I need a full-blown eye. Maybe just a dot. Anyway, I need to put some shadowing in. Let's see. Let's use a little white and a little black. If I can. Blend that on my brush. I just need it a little bit lighter so you can just get the idea of an ear and a second ear here. That's way too light. I guess I could just draw a line. I know, isn't it great? Isn't it great? Okay, bye, Ange. Okay, I'm painting back over that ear because it didn't get so good. Let's go on the side here and see if I can get maybe the antique white. It's just the white is just so white. And my antique cream color is so thick and lumpy. I can't get it to load on the brush. I might have to let that go and get rid of that. I want to give just a side little shadow here to just indicate the edge of his, so you can see where his ear's popping out. What time is? Oh, it's still early. We play pinochle with our friends that moved to Colorado on Sunday nights. So I gotta watch my time. I need to do its hoofs. Lori loves Montana. What were you doing? What were you doing, sweet Lori? My mom at the doctor's office yesterday. Oh my gosh. Was it yesterday? Or was it Thursday? I forget. I ain't making any promises. Okay, Mom. Oh, were you out with your mama? Okay, his hips look a little better. Man, chat must be zipping. It's zipping. I missed it. I missed it. Oops. All right, let's see. Maybe a little bit of this on my liner brush. So let's make a little line for his hoofs. I'm about ready to call this done. I'm thinking maybe some blades of grass up around his feet. He needs to have another ear up in here. Yeah, I'm just not liking it. I need a decent like shade, like a, I just really love my angle brush. I need a decent angle brush. And I think I could do it. Okay, let's see. If I take and load up my, no, they're too big. Okay, so that's too big. Blades of grass. I need the, what did I do with my comb brush? Yeah, left it in the water. Great. All right, I'm going to get some of this green, the dark green, and I'm going to tap in a little bit of the cream and maybe some white. Yeah, I don't want to do too much, but, you know, like I said, sometimes you can just start overdoing. I thought he was looking away. Yeah, well, it's supposed to have another ear there. I might think on that. I think that's going to be it. I think that's going to be it, kids. Alrighty. Ladies, thanks so much for joining me and helping me get another project done. This is great. And let's see. Oh, his tail! Marty, his tail. I forgot all about it. It's just like the other day. What was I painting? A mouse, and I didn't give him any ears. Oh, I wish I could find my brush. Oh, you know you got a lot to learn. Dee 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 dee. Barb, I'm sorry, I missed whatever's going on. Angie wanted them at the beach, Lori. She wanted me to put them at the beach. I've got sunshine. Ugh, this brush is too big. On a cloudy day. I can't get the tune, Barbie. I need you. I guess you say, what can make me feel? I found it. Feel this way, my girl, my girl. I don't know, Laura. I have a jar done with a sheep on it, and I did a cow before. I gave the cow one away. Can't find my pattern, but I found this piece at the Goodwill, so it was kind of cool. It's just a piece of metal with the a candle thingy on it. So don't know actually. All right, they have his tail up real high. It's not going to be real curly, and of course I should have left well enough alone. I should have done it in pencil. I should have brought my other glasses down on my face. Do, 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 do. Mm-hmm. Well, girls, there it is. I don't think it's much too thick, but it's going to stay the way it is. Marty said, when I first got online, I had web TV. You could put music with your emails, and my email play my girl. Aw. Yes, he needed a tail. All right, kids. I think that's going to be it for me. I love you too, Barbie. So I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks for being here. So it's Sunday, so Marie is on later this evening. It's Central. Of course, I'm usually playing cards when she first comes on, so I'm not good with the time. I started a calendar where I could list all the streamers that we know about, and I don't know where I wrote it. I'm really not that ditzy, but I am ditzy in this area. Thank you all. Barb, thank you. Lori was here. Peggy was here. Thanks so much. My mods, my spectacular mods. Thanks for hanging out with me, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. No worries, little Lord dear. No worries. Thank you, thank you. So I'll see you next time. Probably later at Murray's if anybody's at Murray's later. All right. Hugs to all. See you on the next live or the next video. Take care. I love you. Bye-bye. I think there was a cartoon character that used to walk on like little planks or something, like a metal grid building buildings. And with this little girl, and she would waddle back and forth and say, love you, bye-bye. All right. You didn't need to know that. Okay. Bye, guys.